Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we are doing the review of all of the best and worst design of 2025, what's worth keeping and bringing with us into the new year and what should be left in the past. Now, the first thing we have to talk about is the #1 trend of the year, and that is the Nancy Meyers design style. Now, Nancy Meyers is a director of some iconic movies you will all recognize, and I know I love, like The Parent Trap, iconic from my childhood, love that. It's Complicated with Meryl Streep, The Holiday everyone loves, and Something's Gotta Give with Diane Keaton. May she rest in peace. But those movies were really known for the styling within them, and that's what people are looking for in their homes. And that's why this is so popular in interior design this year. It's a reference to traditional design, warm, soft, inviting interiors with details in them that you kind of only see in traditional design, very like colonial, slightly coastal inspired. These interiors are really making people rethink what's going on in their home. There's a shift from only having modern and new into something that's a little more authentic, a little more textured, a little more welcoming, and has that very obvious warmth to it. And the inspiration people are getting from these movies definitely defines that in their styles in their homes. Now, if you're looking to incorporate this into your home, if this is a style you like, look for warmer tones, things like soft creams and ivories as opposed to a cool toned white on pretty much everything is great. Wood tones are really wonderful. Some darker wood tones. We're not seeing a lot of white oak in those spaces. We're seeing more like a walnut, and that's really pretty because it once again has a lot of warmth to it. In a mix of layered pieces of furniture, a lot of layering in terms of the accessories, throw blankets, pillows. This is where we see a lot of texture in items as well. And it kind of, it has a reference point to the like farmhouse vibes, but this is just a more authentic version of it. And depending on the materials you use, depends on the look and feel it has. If you said, I want something that has more linens and a little more texture, a little sisal rug on the floor or something, it's going to read as being slightly more coastal. And I love that for you. But if you said the inverse of that, I want something with velvet, something with a wool rug and deep pile, I want a lot of texture, those sorts of things are going to read as more like classically traditional colonial style. The Nancy Meyers design style is a favorite of mine. I do love it, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want people to think that's the only thing I do. I would say the vast majority of my clients are coming to me for organic, modern, or something within that niche outside of my personal style. I do operate in a lot of different styles. So if you have a style that's outside of that Nancy Meyers, outside of traditional design, I've got you covered and I have the answers for you. So be sure you head to the link in the description box or go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic to book a one-on-one virtual consultation with me where you can show me around your home and I can answer some of those design questions that have been burning to be answered by you. Now, another really popular design style this year and one of the most viral holiday trends, which once again, so interesting that it's on trend because I've been doing it for the last 5 years. Beside the point, let me take the heat out of it, the energy out of it, is the Ralph Lauren aesthetic and vibe. Now, nothing says Ralph Lauren like a handsome little dog. Look at this. The tones, the texture. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so handsome. Aside from being the most wonderful and handsome and pretty little boy, he also very much fits the brief and the vibe of like, you know, that beautiful dog just lounging around on all of the furniture. That's the Ralph Lauren vibe. It's all about layering, it's all about texture, but it has a much more moody feel than something like the Nancy Meyers style has, right? We're talking about a lot of rich leathers and brown colors, and you have denim accents. You can even use denim in interiors if you're going for the Ralph Lauren style. Think like a denim pillow. You can actually have chairs upholstered in denim, which is really unexpected and very cool, and I like that. But you also are mixing plaids. Ralph Lauren isn't really plaid, it's more tartan, but you can kind of get away with it if you're not going like too obviously Ralph Lauren. This is also where we see a lot of accessorizing trends this year. Crystal is back big time in interiors and decor. So is silver, antique silver frames and pieces. This very much fits the Ralph Lauren aesthetic. It's rich, it's detailed. You have saturated tones and you have, you know, imagery and interesting things and like oil paintings of historic things, historic homes, like all of these things are very much that Ralph Lauren vibe. Now you can take that and turn it into something more modern because you can use the colors from that design and incorporate them into a space, and I love that. And that's a large part of what people are liking about it for Christmas. Now a lot of the haters will tell you, oh, it's just traditional Christmas, and like low key it kind of is, like you have red and green, right? But if you want some tips on it, don't watch anybody who's a fake and a fraud's new videos. You go watch my Christmas videos from the last 4 years, but that's beside the point. That's really interesting happening this year, but it's really about the mix of ribbons and fabric and patterns that you're using. You use a tartan, you use a black watch, you can mix them with solid color velvets to get something that really feels like that depth, that textural element that Ralph Lauren aesthetic definitely has. What I do is I will mix that classic Ralph Lauren aesthetic with some of my favorite colors or what I use regularly in design. So if you're looking for some holiday tips, that's my number one. Work with what you have in your colors and try and incorporate them into your Christmas decor or any holiday decor for that matter. So for me, I love Wedgwood blue. So I'll do Ralph Lauren with Wedgwood blue, and that meets the design aesthetic, and it probably reads a little more Nancy Meyers actually that way too, which is super fun. Another massive trend for interior design in 2025, and one that honestly I'm okay with us leaving behind, or at least elevating and moving on from, is the overuse of stone slabs in homes. Stone slabs are great, and I love them when the application is appropriate, right? Like, so in a kitchen, I'm not gonna tell you to use tile. I'm gonna tell you to use stone slabs. Like, if it's in your budget, I'm gonna say, like, I'd rather you go a little more affordable on cabinetry and a little more high-end on the stone, the slab backsplash, like, upgrade it that way. I'll tell you, a stone slab is really good as an accent detail in a shower if you wanna go overwhelming with it and do something great. Like, that's beautiful, okay? It looks luxury, and that's a space I would love to be in and enjoy. But we've taken things a little too far, in my opinion. Stone slabs are being used just basically everywhere, all over the place. Like, it's like, oh, you know, we have an accent wall here. What should we do it in? Stone, like, let's cover it in stone, a slab of stone. Oh, that fireplace, instead of doing like, you know, a mantle style detail, it's like, we'll just do a slab of stone on it right there. Floor to ceiling, go overwhelming with it. And that can read as being a little dated, if I'm being honest. Right now, what people are favoring is a return to classic details, even if it's modern design. And by classic, I don't mean traditional design. I mean something that will never feel dated. I mean something that is going to always feel like it works for people. I don't want a home without a mantle because I like to decorate my mantle for the holidays. Okay, I want to put my little ooky spooky Halloween decor on it, so I need to have a mantle. I need to have the garland draped across it. And if you don't have a mantle, you can't do that. So I don't love that slab detail. And we're seeing it to like the next level in all of these homes. Even it's to the point where it's like the floors, like we'll do a slab of marble for the floor. It's a little too far, and you don't have to push it that far to achieve something beautiful. And as a little pro tip to throw out there for you, if you're like, Garrett, it doesn't matter because I don't have the budget for slabs of stone anyway, if you want that look and feel, like for your kitchen backsplash, for example, you can just use oversized flooring tile in that material to get the same look. Use the thinnest grout lines possible. Match the grout color to the actual body of the stone, like the most overwhelming color in it, and nobody will really be able to tell, and you'll get the same look for a whole lot less. Now, no matter what your style is, I've always got the tips that are gonna make it beautiful and your home look gorgeous for you. And we post at least 2 interior design related videos every week. So be sure you take a moment and become a part of our GarrettLeChic family. Just hit that subscribe button and join us. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us and our community here. We'd love to have you as a part of our GarrettLeChic family. So please join us, hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate if everyone could give this video a like. And I know that you know somebody who is working on their decor, a renovation, some interior design in their home. Send this video to them so that they are not going to be dated come next year, and they can avoid some of these bad trends and embrace some of the good ones. Another big trend of 2025 that I like, I think I like it, you know, I'm all about it, is romantic minimalism. Romantic minimalism is the same concept as minimalism, right? It's all about only having the necessary things. It's about not having anything that's not adding to your life in some way outside of just like, it's pretty, it makes me happy, right? It's all about utility and being useful. Romantic minimalism is a take on that concept, but instead of it just being like a design style where it's like everything is modern, minimalist, like, oh, it's refined details, which basically means a square, okay? Romantic minimalism is the opposite of that. It's like, hey, we want that minimalist concept. We don't want to be weighed down by all of these unnecessary things, but we love beautiful detail and great design. We love those features that bring us joy in these pieces. Romantic minimalism is all about embracing beauty in every detail, right? Going back to vintage pieces. A lot of antiques are also used in this style, which I really like. Because also, like, let's be real, traditional design is not the biggest trend of like the last 10 years. So a lot of those pieces you see in these photos, you can find them on Facebook Marketplace at a good deal. You go to antique shop and get them for practically nothing. And that's a really good aspect about this. My favorite part of romantic minimalism overall, completely and totally, are the floral arrangements. I love a very like neutral, soft, relaxing space that maybe has some of those feminine details, but like a beautiful pop of floral in a floral arrangement. I love that. But it is something that when I see this on my like For You page, or like I'm scrolling social media and I see it, it brings me joy and I'm like, oh wow, that's so beautiful. Like, that's so romantic. I love that, and I'm so happy that I have a platform like this where I get to share that with you. A top trend in something I've seen, something that I called out, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, something like that, was color coming back. And I told you before, it was like everybody was so focused on like all white interiors or beige interiors, super neutral interiors. And I was like, what you're gonna see is people are gonna lean towards browns and camels and blacks to add more depth and, you know, a little bit of saturation into their space. And then they're going to start looking for neutral colors to bring in. Well, we've moved beyond that now to the point where people are really embracing actual color. And in every design aspect, in every style across the board, people are opting for more and more and more color. And it makes me so happy because I've always been a color person. Now, I'm not talking about everything is completely colored everywhere. Like there is no white or tan or beige or cream. Like, no, it's done in an elevated, sophisticated way where you have pops of it in places, and maybe you have one room that's a really saturated color as a fun little moment to add like actual personality and character to a home. I love that. It just feels so authentic to me, so real, so legit, and I love that. Now, the best places to bring color into your space may not be like paint your walls, you know, a really saturated, overwhelming color that you're not comfortable with. It may be start in smaller doses. I always said, start with a floral arrangement. That's temporary. The flowers are gonna have to be replaced at some point. Like, you know, you're only gonna have to live with that for a few weeks. That's a good place to start. Rugs, throw pillows, throw blankets are great, especially with holiday decor. That's a good place to play around with color in your space and see what feels real to you and authentic. And for a lot of my clients, it's like, you know what, I don't want a lot of color. I want olive green because it feels closer to like a brown, a tan, a camel color. They like that, and that's a smoother transition, or like a muted blue tone. That's another one that people really enjoy. Cream, ivory, beiges, all of those are really good bases to build off of because they make a space that feels light and bright and, you know, it has energy flowing through it, and I love that. But having color makes a space feel like people live there. It doesn't feel staged, it doesn't feel boring. It feels legit, it feels real, it feels authentic. That is what makes me excited. Another major trend of 2025, and in my opinion, it's on the border, okay? Some of it needs to stay, but some of it needs to go, is commercial inspired interiors. Now, as a designer, as somebody who went to design school, I got, you know, the education, the degree, all of the things. I trained to do commercial interiors, and I have a little bit of insight into this, but it's not my passion. My passion is residential homes. So when I see residential homes that are drawing inspiration from commercial interiors, it does make sense because what happens in the commercial design space pushes boundaries because honestly, companies have a lot of money and they could do a lot of great design in it too, right? And I love that. And that, you know, it does serve as a really good reference to what you can do into your home. But the problem with being inspired by commercial interiors is that they're not designed to last very long. And this is kind of what I said about slabs of stone. People are loving to use them, but it doesn't have the same longevity because of trends. So with commercial interiors, they're usually designed to last for like 5 to 7 years before they get renovated. So nothing is like bad. It doesn't look old or tired, but it's time for a revamp to revitalize the appeal to consumers and get people in the door. What commercial interiors are all about. So if you're taking inspiration from them, you need to do so and tread carefully, because you don't want a home that is going to be essentially dated in 5 years' time. Some of them are the most beautiful in the world, and they push the boundaries of design as far as they could possibly go. But the key word here is inspiration. Take inspiration from them. So while I love commercial interiors and what happens in those spaces, what you need to do if you want to achieve this look in your home is study that space. Figure out why it is you actually like it, what the details are. Talk to a designer about what that is and why you like it. And then go from there in terms of taking inspiration from it and putting that in your home instead of just trying to replicate something. Now that we've talked about some of the best and worst trends coming out of 2025, let's talk about some dated design that is making a comeback and you need to know about, because it's back and it's here to stay. So be sure you check out that video right over here, and we will see you over there.